football one. So people always tell me whenever we do a football show, they can tell I'm having a lot more fun. So we are live. We are talking high school football with Coach Mitch, who is now at Kingman Middle School.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, so you coached at Kingman for years and years and years, Kingman High School.
Last 6 years, yes.
And recently, when Coach Stryker left, went down to middle school, and you're building the next generation.
Yep, it's exciting. We start our second week of practice this week. Got 60-plus kids out.
Oh, that's great.
This is looking 26 graders. Like, the future's looking really bright. Really excited
Yeah,
about
that's
how
awesome.
things are going there.
I will tell you where you caught my attention is you started a page on Twitter, and you had a lot of really great content on there. And I thought, man, what a great opportunity to bring you down and talk about the upcoming season for all these high school football teams. And you know, you had kind of done a season preview, so to speak, of each team. I thought we'd go through those, talk about what we know. You know, you've been in that Kingman football world for a long time. I've been down here for a while. Havasu's probably the one we know the least about. Sorry, Havasu guys. But that's what we're here for.
Yep, definitely. Excited to talk about.
Very cool. So I think we jump right in with Coach Thompson and the Havasu football team. They are returning, a bunch of talented kids. They are in the hunt. I had a little bit of fun here on the page. I don't know if you saw. We did a poll if we thought Havasu was going to get the shovel back. So it's
yes.
Havasu had controlled the shovel for many years,
Yes.
and this is a chance for Mojave to have some unheard of success in that shovel game.
Right.
And it's neck and neck who they think's going to win. Some interesting voters in there too. I can see who votes. Some coaches in there picking Havasu, and it should be a lot of fun down at Havasu this year.
Yeah, no, definitely. The shovel game, longest rivalry in the area by far. They have played every year of both schools' existence with the exception of 2020 for obvious reasons.
Tired of hearing about it, right?
Yeah, no, that was a rough year for all of us.
Yeah, absolutely. So what do you know about the Havasu football team this year?
So Havasu, I'm really excited to watch them play this year. Led by linebacker Trevin Thompson, the youngest son of Coach Carl Thompson, who Coach Thompson has been there since 2009.
Oh, wow.
Longest tenured coach in Havasu history by far. Been around the area for a while. Their schedule, very favorable for them. There's only 2 to 3 teams that I would argue are more talented than them, Mojave being in that conversation as well, Estrella Foothills.
Do you have that Havasu schedule, Jeff? Yeah. What'd you project them at? I
project them to go 8-2 this year. I think they're going to have a really good year. I think they'll make the playoffs. I'm not sure they'll win their region. It's Estrella Foothills are definitely tough. There's some new teams there like Somerton at the end there, first season of varsity football ever. Gila Ridge, who's been hit or miss in the Yuma area. Lee Williams, are they in a rebuild? Are they not in a rebuild?
Yeah. We're going to talk about Lee Williams in depth here shortly.
Yes.
I've had the experience of I've had the fortunate experience to talk with Coach Regan. Havasu, I think, is going to be in a position where they can get these young up and coming kids ready for varsity football in time. I got some buddies down there. These kids are training hard. They're building up athletes, but we all know that jump up to that varsity level of football, especially in that conference, is a big jump up.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
I would argue they're definitely in a weaker region, though, compared to Mojave and Lee Williams. The Grand Canyon is probably one of, if not the toughest region in 4A.
It's pretty nasty.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty nasty. And Havasu, you know, for a long time, I mean, they've just had a lot of success.
Yes.
I mean, I remember watching them play some playoff games not that long ago against some very good eventual state champion teams. You know, they need to go find their next Isaac Stopkey is kind of
it was not that long ago that Havasu and River Valley were a missed field goal away from seeing each other in the semifinals back in 2015.
Yeah, not that long ago. What do you think the X factor is? What's the missing piece for Havasu to get over to that hump, to hit that win projection?
I think it's getting past Estrella Foothills. I think Estrella Foothills is the first step, and I think winning the Golden Shovel game will get them a higher seed come playoff time.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Mojave
will be huge to their success this year.
And they host the shovel game this year, so that's
big.
That is big. I mean, I'll tell you, I know they brought a great crowd up to the field house last year.
And what is it? That shovel game is week 3, week 2?
I believe it's 2 or 3.
Because 7 o'clock kickoff in Lake Havasu, even though it's pitch black, Pretty hot.
It's pretty hot, yeah. And so if you don't know, I think a lot of folks do, but I coached at Mojave for a few years. You had coached at Kingman. So we have some insight, some experiences. A few years back, we played down there, and that crowd was absolutely electric. They knew it was a big game, and they won that shovel game. I want to say that was 3 years ago in Havasu. And I'm sure they are feeling the opportunity of that team being up and coming and looking to bring that excitement back. And it should be a lot of fun.
Definitely. Excited to watch them play this year.
Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of young, talented kids, especially on the defensive side of the ball in Havasu. Bringing it all together is probably the key. We would love to have any Havasu folks on who want to come up, talk about a little bit of Havasu football. It's probably the team we know the least about on the insider side of things.
Just a little bit. They're just kind of at the bottom of the county.
Yeah, they're kind of bottom of the county, and unfortunately, I've been here in town for a long time. You've been in Kingman, and so that's just kind of where our roots are. But should be a lot of fun, and then of course a lot of intermixing there, where they're going to play Lee Williams, they're going to play Mojave. So teams are going to test each other and find out where they're out really fast.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Early in the season too.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I want to jump to Lee Williams next.
Okay.
So Lee Williams is very exciting. Obviously a horrible season last year. Not what they intended. I think they had a coaching change mid-year.
It was a rough situation. The coach resigned after losing to Wickenburg week 4 of the season, and interim had to come in, their DC. It was a rough situation. A lot of kids from the previous year didn't come back because of the coaching change. Losing Coach Brown the year prior to Gilbert, I mean, got a great young coach like him.
Yeah.
It's
hard to keep coaches in this area.
It is hard.
I don't know why people don't realize it's so hard to keep. Yeah. So there's the young coach we're talking about.
Yep.
Made a great hire.
Yes, I think Reagan is going to be great at Lee Williams. He's technically local, which is something that Lee Williams has not hired a lot of.
Yeah.
And Lee Williams probably has the most turnover in the last 10 years of any of the high schools in Mojave County, which is surprising because you'd argue it's one of the better football jobs in the area.
I agree. And so we talked about that when he was on the podcast, and he views all of the local teams as local teams, right?
Right.
He's a local guy. He knows the history. He knows the who, what, where, and when of things. And to him, that's a backyard job. He loves it. He's very excited, and he's building a program. I talked to him the other day. He had 70 kids in his off-season program. A lot of underclassmen. He's got some talented older kids. Mentioned a couple guys, and he's a defensive coach.
Yes, and he is going to run the defense this year. I did hear that. And I'm excited to watch them play this year. Very young this year, though. From what I heard, last I heard 4 returning seniors, maybe 5.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I'm sure in the long term they're projecting very high. You got them at a 5-5 this year.
Yes.
Yep.
It could go either way for them. I really like Reagan. If there's one guy that I think could exceed my predictions, it's going to be Lee Williams and Coach Reagan. His energy is just he's probably the most energetic of the 8 coaches in the county.
Well, he's very energetic. He's very passionate.
Yes.
And, I had the pleasure of meeting his dad before I met him. And his dad's a great football guy. And so I saw his dad up there helping him. They're locked in. And they are young. And it's really going to be a matter, like if they had an X factor, it's how fast they can grow up.
Right.
Exactly. Come together as a football team. He's getting most of an off season, but you're not in a year 2, year 3. You don't have everything built in that program. But he does have some strong leadership. I know you had some players to feature.
Yes, I like Cooper Cronk, wide receiver, free safety for them. Led 4A in interceptions last year with 8.
Yeah.
And they do return a senior quarterback, Morgan Quinn.
Yes. So I actually have 2 of the same guys. Morgan Quinn, per coach, great compliment saying he's picking up the offense. He's getting control of the offense, which we all know is huge, very quickly. Cooper Cronk is projecting very high, very physical wide receiver and safety. And there's a kid up there named Shane Miranda, big, strong, O-line, D-line.
Yeah.
And when you are establishing an identity, when you are building a team, you need a guy like that to really lead the way for those guys, to go out there and set that edge, blow that play up, show them how it's done, and everybody rallies behind it. And I think that guy's going to be a big factor in how that team comes along this year.
Definitely.
So,
Dominating the trenches goes a long way. In the
yeah,
Grand Canyon
absolutely.
region.
And then, obviously coming from a 2-8 year, they're going to improve tenfold. I
Yes.
mean, you can't improve tenfold mathematically from that. But
Yeah.
as far as the program, the off season, the culture, they're humming up there. They got big things coming.
Right out the gate, though, they start at Wickenburg, which
Probably a little revenge game.
little revenge game, I would argue. Yeah, Wickenburg is tougher than they look, though. Probably one of the best tackling teams I've ever seen in my
Yeah.
coaching career.
So we were talking about Wickenburg a little bit earlier. They had a hell of a year last year.
They did.
They had a real tough running back. Kid was tough, but they gave River Valley all they could handle.
Yep, Mojave.
Mojave. We were talking about a little bit earlier. They just are content to play very tough,
Yep.
nasty defense, keep a game close, and I think they hurt some feelings last year in football.
I think they did. I definitely hurt mine last year. Our last official game of the striker era at Kingman High was Wickenburg. So yeah.
Yeah, and I mean honestly, they were a tough team. I mean, they're always a tough team, but they were a very tough team, talented, and a little bit of talent onto a tough team makes a big difference.
Definitely.
So I think Lee Will is on the way up. I think they're very exciting. I think you're going to find out real fast. Jeff, do you have that schedule? When do they play Havasu Mojave? Is that late in the year for them?
Yeah.
I don't have their schedule.
Oh, man, we don't?
Oh.
Shoot.
Oh.
You guys have to have it.
I thought you just had it up.
Wait.
The Lee Williams schedule. Yeah.
Yeah. So either way, I think that's going to be the big litmus test. And then there's so many shared opponents. Yeah, there we go.
Yep.
Yeah, Wick. Gosh, they opened Wick. That's
Yeah,
rough.
at Wick, you got
Havasu week
comes
3.
to town. Kingman.
Prescott, who was the region
Yeah.
champ last year, correct?
Yeah.
I think
Prescott was the region champ, made it to the semifinals, I believe, in 4A. Coco and Bradshaw are looking to have great years this year.
Yeah, and so you actually have a late Mojave game, which will probably have, if everyone is projecting the way they want, major implications
Yes.
into that postseason. Which, just a little fun insight. I asked on the social media if they thought Regan would get them back to the playoffs, and most people said yes.
I believe he will. I don't think it'll be year one, but I believe he will.
Yeah, very interesting time. And again, if you guys haven't seen, go watch that video we did with Coach Regan.
Yeah.
Passion,
Great episode.
vision. I mean, all the things that you really, really want out of a head coach. And there's not great old coaches. You see Pete Carroll out there, 73 years old, running
Still
special
doing it.
teams.
Still doing it.
But having young energy, man, is very exciting for these kids. So, very exciting stuff. I think Lee Will is going to be a lot of fun. Let's go to one that you know pretty well. What's happening with the Kingman Bulldogs?
Well, Kingman Bulldogs. Coach Stryker resigned this offseason after 6 years with the program. And we hired Eli Schodemer, who was the offensive coordinator at Sequoia Pathways last year.
Okay.
New guy, young guy, probably 3 or 4 years older than me, early 30s. They graduated.
I think we have that picture, Jeff. Yeah, so I think I saw on Twitter that he's not living locally and he's commuting.
No. That is the academy head coach.
Oh,
We'll
okay.
talk about that
Gotcha.
later. He does live in town. He was a real estate agent. They graduated 13 seniors from last year's team, which was huge for them. Mostly new varsity coaching staff. A lot of the varsity guys, most of us are at the middle school now. The DC's at the middle school. I'm at the middle school. Coach Stryker, obviously. A lot of the guys that were varsity this year were on our JV staff last year. They do return Coach Randy Cheatham, who was our strength conditioning coordinator, one of the best in the county, I'd argue, between my guy and Mojave. Yeah.
Was he the one at the big man 7-on-7 last year?
Yeah, white hair.
Great guy.
Yeah, great guy.
Great
No,
guy. Yeah,
he's great.
All right, so here we go. We got Kingman Bulldogs. Best strength of schedule in the county. Playoff teams from last year, 5. 3 toughest
fourth
games.
best.
Fourth best. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Lee Will, River Valley, and Blue Ridge. Blue Ridge is a tough draw on your regular season
at
schedule.
Blue Ridge to end
That's
the
a
year.
hoof,
Yeah,
too.
that's a hoof.
Yeah, absolutely. And then
Yeah.
you have to assume that with head coach leaving,
Yep.
13 seniors, you have a whole fresh ball game coming
Yes.
up.
They do have one ace up their sleeve, though, and they are returning DeAnthony Bush, cornerback for them.
Yeah, very
And
athletic kid.
Very athletic. it's between him and the guy at Mojave, who is the best quarterback in this county, I'd argue, right now.
Yeah.
But definitely a great athlete.
Yeah,
And
very
just
good
a great,
athlete.
very coachable kid.
Yeah. Do you think they're going to stay in that offense? Do you know anything about what they intend to do?
I believe that they will continue to run a version of the gun tee, which is kind of what we evolved in over the last couple years at Kingman High, because if you remember, we started with the single wing.
Oh yeah, everybody loves the
And
single
then we
wing.
kind of just, we evolved into, when we got a quarterback that could throw, we evolved it into a
Yes.
gun tee. So.
So funny story, similar situation at Mojave. You know, they ran that old wing tee, whatever, forever. It was just kind of inherited from old Coach Ruckle days, who inherited from whoever he had it from, and Coach O inherited it. And we brought up some very talented athletic kids, and we were like, we are not getting the most out of these kids. We got to open this thing up. And that had been the last few years of Mojave football with a more of a hybrid offense, opening it up. You know, that was kind
No,
of
definitely, I agree. You got to play to the strength of your athletes and have an offense that can adjust to the strength of your athletes.
I agree, completely agree. So, I know you had a prediction up there. Where do you think Kingman projects the next couple years?
I'm projecting 4-6 this year. I do like the new head coach a lot. I think they'll get better over the years. It starts at the ground though. It's building up through the middle school program, which is what we've decided to do, go into the middle school and fix the middle school so these kids feed into Kingman High, and then we can improve the success.
You know, it's no secret the most successful high school teams had strong youth teams, and they carried those things through into high school. It is very hard, especially at the competitive level of all these conferences, to just create a team when kids arrive at a high school.
Exactly.
And I always made the comparison. I had a kid 10 feet away who was getting recruited D1, and I had a kid on the other side of the ball who was out for football in the first time, didn't know how to put his pads on. That's tough to coach.
Yeah, no, you get those kids the first day of fall camp, and kids never played football before.
Yes.
Or he plays for the first time, it's his senior year. It's just like,
Very challenging. And, you know, I can tell you as a high school coach, you want everyone out there.
Exactly.
Football has so much value for these kids. It's probably one of the toughest things they'll ever do. And you'll learn a lot about yourself and other things, and teamwork and sacrifice, and all these things have become like cliche words. But get out there early. Learn the game. Get in shape. You know, that's one of the hardest things. Once you're tired, you lost.
and that's the key, is having these kids through youth ball to middle school to high school. They've been together. There's chemistry there. There's camaraderie.
Absolutely.
And just they're growing together as a
Absolutely.
team.
So I wanted to ask you, and we'll jump into, you have Kingman Academy also, right?
Yes.
So you had mentioned building at the middle school. Are you, are those schools up there attached to a high school, or is it open?
Yes, so there are 3 middle schools in Kingman. Kingman Middle School, which feeds into Kingman High, White Cliffs, which feeds into Lee Williams.
Gotcha.
And the Academy has their own middle school, which is supposed to feed into the Academy. That has been an issue the last couple of years, that half of those Academy kids end up going to Lee Williams, which is part of the Academy's issues the last couple of years.
Yeah, well, that would definitely lead to issues, and now with Lee Williams arguably becoming a bit of a destination, with all the, you know, I talked to Coach Regan, and he said that the amount of young kids he had coming in with interest was way more than he anticipated, and I imagine that's going to continue. And
No, I'm not surprised by that at all. That's definitely, that's how things have been for the most part since that school opened up back in 2012.
yeah, absolutely. So let's jump into them. What do you know about Kingman Academy? Obviously, probably a little smaller.
Little smaller, probably behind, with the exception of Malk, the smallest enrollment in the county. I have them going 6-3 this year, mostly because their schedule is by far the weakest. It is, they had 2 teams that went 0-10 last year. They have 5 of their 9 games are against schools with new head coaches.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. One thing you would say is you can't do anything but play the games on your schedule.
Exactly, correct.
So win the games you're supposed to win.
Exactly.
Obviously, the kids don't ever make the schedule. One thing that drives me crazy is, you know, what are you blaming the kids for? They literally have no control over it. So, what do they got? Who's their go-to guy out at Kingman Academy?
Their go-to guy this year is going to be senior running back Jeremiah Olave, running back and DB for them. He's a little shorter stature, but a very shifty kid. He's going to be the the head of their offense. Biggest thing with the academy this year is getting into the end zone. They only had 6 offensive touchdowns last year.
Oof. Hard. You better have a hell of a defense with 6 offensive touchdowns.
Which is part of the reason they went 1-9 last
Yeah.
year. But I'm excited to see them. The new schedule definitely favors them.
And if I saw correctly, they open with Desert Star?
They open with Desert Star. That is the first game of the football season.
Yes, I know
Thursday
Desert Star
night.
is very excited to have a Thursday night
Yes.
season kickoff game and against a local team. That's probably going to be a hoot, and I believe it's down here in the valley.
It is down here in Mojave Valley. Yes.
Yeah, so that should be an absolute blast on a Thursday. I can actually get out there and
Definitely.
check it out.
We have our scrimmage for the middle schools that day, but it starts at 2 o'clock, so we should be done in time for me to drive.
You can be
down
that on
here
there,
and
and be like,
catch
let's
it.
wrap this scrimmage up,
Yeah.
guys. We gotta
Exactly.
We gotta do some scouting.
I got a 40-minute drive.
Yeah. And you know what's funny is I actually love watch it. It's so funny because I coached at Mojave, but I coached kids who are now peppered throughout Mojave County.
Yep.
And I have friends' kids who play other places. And now that I'm not coaching at Mojave, I really just enjoy watching high school football.
Right.
You know, it's hard to beat college. College is my favorite, but watching high school football is a blast. So I wish more people go out and just watch these kids. There's great kids all over the place. Yeah. Is this head coach at Kingman Academy?
Yes, this is Sean Windecker. He's entering his 4th year at the academy. We went to school together. He was a year ahead of me. I graduated from the academy, so the academy has a soft spot in my heart. I also
Very
coached
good,
there
very good.
that was my first.
Well, Kingman
coaching job.
Academy has the award for best picture so far.
Yes.
Great media team. Nice job, fellas.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Definitely.
absolutely. So, anything else? What are we missing about Kingman? Kingman football on the rise. What's happening in Kingman?
I think Kingman is on the rise. The biggest thing is just the difference between the Bullhead area schools and the Kingman area schools is keeping the head coaches and building a program. Like
Yeah.
having a new guy every 3 years, it's hard to build success. And my belief is Windecker's entering his 4th year now. Reagan is a local guy who I believe isn't going anywhere anytime soon. We got a new young guy at Kingman. We get these guys to stay for multiple years, we can have the same success that the Bullhead schools have had. Because you have
Yeah.
guys like Coach Rudy, Coach Gibson, and Coach King, who's a local guy. Rudy and Gibson have been here for a while.
For a while, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I could tell you from talking to Regan, he thinks that Lee Will spot is one of the prime spots in the entire area to coach football.
Definitely. I would argue it is.
So it is a
the best
destination
job.
to him. He was very excited
Yeah.
for that opportunity.
Yeah,
So,
I would argue it is the best job in the county. Lake Havasu's a close second.
Yeah.
Because Lake Havasu doesn't have to fight for the kids like the rest of
Yes.
us.
that would be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always make the joke, you know, Malk is a mile down the road from Mojave. And they've had some very talented athletes come through there. And if you just had a little bit of that, then Mojave, not necessarily football. Football's been pretty good the last few years. You know, but like their basketball program,
Yes.
they've had some very good basketball players. You know, 2-3 kids in a basketball program, it's night and day.
Yeah,
You know.
especially at that 1A level. Yeah.
Right? Yeah, absolutely. So, where do you want to jump to next? I got all the local schools here, and I'll chat your ear off about
Let's,
all of them.
Let's continue with Malk.
Cool, let's do it. Mal coming off another good year. One of the few schools that does play 8-man.
Yes.
So it's always kind of hard to see their stats and compare them equally
And
to.
translate it, yes. It is very interesting, though. The 8-man game, though, it's much more wide open than when I was playing high school, because we played 8-man at the academy back when I was in high school, and much more passing at the 1A level in the AIA. And it's interesting because you have all these passing teams at 1A level. At 2A, you have a little more mix of all these different types of offenses.
Yeah.
And then you go back to 3A, it's back to spread teams again.
All right, so here we go. We got Coach Gibson.
Yep.
I actually got Coach Gibson in here is one of the strong suits for Malk because he's been there for several years.
Yes.
He has built a culture. He's a Western Pennsylvania guy. He grew up down the road from where I grew up,
Yep.
and the guy loves ball. And so one of the things that he does is he manages to find playmakers and put them in position to be successful every year. He's managed to recruit some basketball players, which has been nice.
Getting the basketball players, to me, was the turning point for
Yeah,
them. They had
I
that
agree.
great 2021 season where they made the playoffs for the first time. And
Yep.
that has been the turning point for them, is getting these
Yep,
basketball players out.
absolutely. So lost some big bodies on the O-line.
They did.
A couple of older guys, even they had a really tough linebacker. but they're bringing back some key
They
guys.
do return their starting quarterback, but most importantly, they return Owen Honiger, senior wide receiver cornerback. 19 touchdowns for them last year between receiving, running, defense, and special teams.
If
and
they
8
kick to him
interceptions.
this year, I'm going to be shocked.
Yeah.
know.
No, he is the focal point of the offense.
Yep. So I got Honiger in there as the playmaker who's going to break it all open. It's just a matter of whether the quarterback gets him the ball. And they have some other returning guys. Torres. They've got a kid on the come up, a kid named Drake Knight, basketball player. I believe he'll be a sophomore or junior this year. Big body, strong kid, been working out at CrossFit. And Coach Gibson's done a good job of getting those kids into positions on a football field to make a difference.
Yep,
And
definitely.
with that 8-man game, you only need a couple of big splash guys.
Yeah, you just need a couple kids to bust it open.
Yeah, absolutely. What's the quarterback's name?
Quarterback's name, I didn't.
Is it Crane Buell?
I want to say Cranbull. Yeah, he's going to
Yeah.
be a junior this year. Yeah.
Rylan Crane Buell. So returning quarterback who already knows your system. I mean, you're going to devise some things to
Right.
get the ball in those guys' hands.
Great chemistry with Honiger.
Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely. You know, fun thing about that kid is I actually did coach him in youth ball back in the day. And every time I see him, I just look at him and be like, you should be playing for me, man.
So it's just funny because like there's these kids at these small schools. It's like that kid could start
Yeah.
at Mojave
Be a
or Lee
factor.
Williams or Kingman. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So did we have Malk's schedule up already, Jeff? Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got them going 6-3 this year. Their schedule is tougher than it appears. You have 3 of the old guard, I'd say, of 1A football: Baghdad, Muggion, and Williams.
Yeah.
All 3 of those schools who could probably play 11-man tomorrow and make the playoffs into it.
Yeah. Well, and not only that, but they have a brutal travel schedule.
Yes.
They have some of the longest drives I've ever heard of outside of maybe Needles.
At El Capitan. El Capitan is in Colorado City. They have to leave the state.
Go all the way up and
Go
around.
through Nevada to get to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a lot. Prediction 6-3. I mean, that's
Yep.
probably spot on. I mean, they have some absolute dogfights. A lot of people may not follow, but Baghdad is a perpetual.
Yes.
I mean, they're very much like a Wickenburg team where they're always tough.
Very
They're
much,
always physical.
tough. Williams, very similar. My first year coaching, we actually played against Williams their last year in 11-man.
Yeah.
And they have gone down to 8-man, and they have just dominated since. The Williams is interesting. They just kind of find a way to keep their
Yeah.
enrollment numbers.
I got a buddy who coached at Williams, and they've actually had a real pedigree of high-end athletes come out of there over the years in a multitude of sports, but they play all sports. And so
Right.
you have a really, really tough athletic culture coming out of Williams. And, you know, to be playing that type of culture in an 8-man game, it's actually very similar to what Malk has been doing lately with getting
Definitely.
kids out for all sports,
Exactly.
which,
Again,
for
the
the record,
baseball.
I'm a huge fan of.
Yes, I think you should play all 3 sports in high school.
Yeah.
I agree.
I agree. I think you should play a sport all 3 seasons. I really am torn. I wish more kids did track.
Yeah, I agree. Like, me personally,
And that's
I'd love my
selfishly
kids-
because I want them to be faster for football.
Like, I
but-
want my offensive line to do wrestling.
Yeah.
And I want my line and my skills to do track, me personally.
Yes.
I want my DBs to do baseball and play outfield.
Yeah.
That is my preference.
Do tracking.
Yeah. My last thing on Malk, though, at Sedona Red Rock, Sedona is restarting football this year, which is really exciting for them. I've always loved traveling
So
to
they're
Sedona.
going to play in Sedona?
They will play in Sedona, which is
That's got to be cool.
I would argue, the most beautiful field in the state by far.
Yeah, it's one of the most beautiful places in the state.
I think the field house is great, but Sedona is
So
amazing.
the field house is great, but it's not exactly beautiful.
The AC is beautiful.
The AC is so we played, I can't remember what game it was, and it was like the week before someone had pitched playing at the high school field instead of at the field house. The field's trashed, the sprinklers don't work, there's giant holes where the sprinklers don't work properly. It's outdoor, you never know what you're going to get. When I played there, you might play in 30-mile-an-hour winds that night.
Right.
It might be 110 degrees at kickoff.
Yep.
And so we're playing in that field house like 2 days after someone pitched us playing another game, and a monsoon rolls in. I mean, you just see lightning in the mountains, the wind. It's all surrounded by sand dunes. So all you see is sand and flashes of light, people running in the doors. You know, when the monsoons hit, the door like slams behind you.
Right.
And I remember walking over to that guy and being like, Should play this one outside, you know. This would have been a great one to be outside. We'd all be sitting in the locker rooms in our cars in a lightning watch,
Right,
you know.
yeah.
So, yeah, the field house is a great resource. I wish more teams could play there.
Yeah.
It's
There
a
has
lot
been
of fun.
talk in the city of Kingman about potentially creating our own version of the field house, which I'm not against. The weather in Kingman, besides the wind, is significantly better compared to down here.
So we go up there for anything, and we're like,
Right.
this is amazing. That 10, 15 degrees cooler, you know, I mean,
It's a game changer.
yeah, absolutely. I don't know what the rationale was, but I'm really amazed that everyone is going to turf fields, indoor. I mean, I'm old school.
And that's one of the things I like about Kingman is Kingman High and Lee Williams, they're one of the last few grass fields left in northern Arizona. There's
Yeah.
like maybe 5, 6 of them left. Like
Which is a
Sedona's
shame because
turf,
I played
you
at
guys are turf.
Coconino 20,
Right.
30 years ago, and it was the most beautiful grass, pine trees all around. And I don't know if they did, but I know a bunch of other schools did rip that out and put turf in.
I believe Coco's gone to turf. Lake Havasu's gone to turf, which
Yeah.
is interesting.
Yeah, that's some hot turf right
Yeah.
there. Hot turf for sure. So
All right.
let's jump into Desert Star. Desert Star is going to be kind of short and sweet here because inaugural season.
Inaugural first varsity season, second year as a school?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jumping into the high school thing and jumping right into 2A. We've got Coach Clark here. The one thing that I have down here is it's hard to bet against a Coach Clark team.
Yes. Coach Clark, arguably one of, if not the best coach in the area. Great. And he has guys on his staff that have been coaching with them since the River Valley days. They've been coaching for a while now.
Yes.
Like, they did lose Coach Reagan to Lee Williams, which is a loss, but you still got Coach Marjorie there.
And
there's
even
just
that is a
continuity.
compliment in that he's already got a local coaching tree of sorts,
Exactly.
you know. I know Regan was a football guy and played football. He's just a football guy.
Yeah.
But he's very complimentary of Coach Clark and the things he took away from Clark's programs that he liked.
Right.
And I was glad to see Coach Clark come back. I think that's going to be
When I heard he was going to be the AD at Desert Star, I was glad to hear because we missed him.
yeah.
And even me being up in Kingman, like Coach Clark, I always enjoyed talking with him. Just so much knowledge.
Yes.
I love
So
picking that
Coach
brain.
Clark was my adversary before, he coached at River Valley when I started at Mojave, and we talked about it when he was on the show. And River Valley was a powerhouse. I mean, they were just dominant, and we had them at a either no score or one score game at halftime. And a kid that we all knew from youth ball ran one back in the second half and blew the lid off the game. And I don't think I told Coach Clark this, but I was so mad. And I just couldn't wait for the next year to get a crack at him, and he ended up leaving.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, oh, and we talked about it. You learn so much coaching, and I was like, this, they're going to lose that. We're adding this. All of our guys were young. We were on the way up,
Yep.
and I just couldn't wait for that next game. And I ended up leaving, taking that other opportunity. And so I really had a lot of respect for the guy, but I never got my chance to take another crack at him.
Yeah. I wish he had stayed for one more year too, because that was the year we finally beat River.
Yeah, that would have been nice to shake that
Yeah, to
handshake
shake that
line.
hand.
Yeah.
Those are the handshakes you live for.
So I actually reached out to Coach Clark because I just didn't know a lot about his program.
Right.
But he is his opening line was, "We're the opposite of senior heavy," which I thought was funny.
That's good.
So obviously new program, no seniors.
Right.
But he's got some great guys to talk about. Specifically, he's a big fan. He's got a big lineman out there. Kid's 6'3", plays both sides of the ball, moves well, fundamentally sound. Riley Kuhn is his name. Going to be a kid to watch as Coach Clark develops players really well with that type of frame. I mean, that could be a potential college football player. Gavin Canning, incoming freshman, talented, athletic kid.
What I have heard is that they have a lot of talented freshmen coming in this year, which
Yep.
are going to be significant contributors.
Yep. Jacob Williams, and I appreciate Coach Clark, the insight. Selected as captain. So he's got the things brewing in there. And one thing that I don't know if you had seen, they brought in a really good guy to run their strength and conditioning program.
I did hear about that. Yes.
Yeah, really good guy. Mitch, we call him CrossFit Mitch, but he's an athlete. He is training people every day. He understands the difference between lifting weights and training. And so, again, another situation where they're on the rise. How high they go is up to
Yes.
them, but they have all the pieces in place to make it happen.
I think the ceiling is the roof for Desert Star, and I think this year that they're going to go out the gates hot. They got some tough games on their schedule, Camp Verde, Phoenix Christian, but they have a lot of winnable games too.
Yeah, and I will remind you guys, I think the dates are different. I think it was it 21st on the other one, it's 22nd on here?
This was the first schedule he printed, and then they had to move the game because I believe Kingman High had a home game, and
Gotcha.
originally they were supposed to come to Kingman Academy, and they switched it to come there on Thursday.
Yeah, and I will tell you, it actually works out as a big win for everybody because we all know it's hard to go out and watch other teams play.
Right.
Having a Thursday night game, especially when it's the kickoff game versus in the middle of a season. When you have a short week preparation on a Thursday, it's rough. But opening up the season on a Thursday, new coach, new program, local competition, that's going to be a fun game, and a lot of us will be able to go out and watch it and not have to choose which game to go to.
No, definitely excited. I'll be able to watch that. I'll probably be able to go watch Kingman and Page the next day.
Yep.
It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun, and I will say that Coach Clark had those kids out all summer. They had a winning record in 7-on-7. I think he said that all their losses came against bigger 4A teams. All the pieces are there.
Last thing I will say about Desert Star, though, is Coach Clark's son, very good quarterback. He's an 8th grader this year.
Yes.
He's got one more year in middle school ball. Maybe we'll see him this year at the middle school level. We don't have him on the schedule, but playoffs. who
Yeah,
knows?
I had seen the kid, and I gave him a hard time, and Coach Clark's like, he's only in 8th grade. You can't give him a hard time yet. He's not in high school. I was like, oh, all right. Well, I figured I'd give him a hard time now. So get
Start
you ready
early,
for it.
yeah.
Absolutely. So big things at Desert Star. It's really fun to talk about football being on the rise. There had been some bright spots, but collectively the area had been down at times, and it's good to see there's so many good things happening in the football world.
It's exciting to see a new school in the area and
Yeah.
see them grow from nothing up.
Yeah.
And especially with the growth that this area is starting to get, Kingman and Bullhead.
Yeah, at the rate things are going, I think Desert Star is going to be the athletic destination in the next 5 years.
I can see that, definitely.
Yeah, they have the infrastructure, they have the support at all levels. I mean, every coach supports their program, but not the same way.
Right.
And not every admin in the same way. And they have it top to bottom. Everyone's on the same page. Everyone shares the same vision. And with the people they have in there to develop people, as a parent, I feel good about sending someone to a place where I know they're going to develop them. Proven track record of success. Mitch is building athletes over here at CrossFit every day. Like it's a pretty exciting thing, and to have that new injected should force everybody else to elevate and get better.
Exactly, yeah.
And it should be good for everyone across the board.
No,
so.
Desert Star showing up forces Mojave to get better. It forces River to get better.
Absolutely.
It forces Malk with another charter school in the area to
We
get
just got to
better.
get Malk to bump up and have a local rivalry.
Malk is right there.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
It would. I think it would be
Desert
awesome.
Star Malk, the charter rivalry.
Because
Like,
kind of how things have turned, like we went from having the great 3A West where we were all fairly local teams.
Yeah.
Chino got moved down. Wickenburg tried to move down.
Yeah.
You guys got moved up to 4A.
Right, yeah.
And now it's like most of the local schools are in 2A now.
yeah. I don't know. That a realignment this year was wild.
It is.
And a lot of it makes sense. But some of it's pretty silly. You still have some giant schools that are in weird places.
And we'll talk about this later when we get to them. You have a team that made the playoffs in 4A who got moved down to 3A. You have the back-to-back state
And
champion.
River Valley's going to have to play 'em.
Yeah, and you got the back-to-back state champion in 2A, stay in 2A,
Yeah.
in Scottsdale Christian,
There's
coached by Mike Sheehan, former Kingman High grad.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
He was on the famous 1998 team
Yeah.
that made it to the semifinals.
So I graduated from Mojave in 01. Kingman Bulldogs were an absolute powerhouse when we played them. They were they 4A going up to 5A for a
They
little?
were mix of 4A, 5A. 5A was the year that in 98 they were in 5A. That was when they made the semifinals. That was the great legendary Coach Smith who was there for 24 years.
Yeah.
It's a long time.
They were an absolute powerhouse. They were very tough. They pumped out a bunch of kids. I don't know how many in football, but I know they had kids go drafted. They had kids go college basketball, and they all played football. And I remember, so I think I started 97, 98, so would have been my freshman year as a 98 football season. And playing Kingman was rough.
Yeah. No.
You had that streak of losing seasons.
Yes.
I was like, oh, that was my year, man.
Oh, you were part of the 23 games? Okay.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
yeah.
So, I tell people all the time, everybody forgets, like, everyone's enjoyed this little run of football
Yeah.
lately.
No.
It's been pretty bleak for a long time down there.
People forget Mojave and Kingman for the last 20 years were for the most part the same school, just in different towns.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, very much so. So, with that said, let's jump into Mojave.
Mojave, yes.
You know, full disclosure, I have a little bit more info because I had coached there the last few years. And biggest news out of Mojave is that they are getting pushed up to 4A.
Yes.
Probably where their natural enrollment aligns them best. Coach Rudy Olvera was the 3A West Coach of the Year. I don't think he had lost a game in the 3A for the last 2 or 3 years.
I do not believe so.
Yeah, so I got, you know, what I call my years, the last 4 years. They're 30 and 14, 16-3 in conference. Had some absolute great teams. And this year has the potential to do the same thing in a bigger conference.
Yes, they have a very strong senior class coming this year, led by quarterback Joe Yoni Jr., the all-time leading rusher and passer for Mojave, in the Max Preps era at least.
Yeah, and he lost out on most of his season last year.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. He missed most of
Yeah.
his junior year.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, I got my keys here is that they have a lot of experienced seniors. I'll rattle off a few, but they also lost some key guys.
Yes.
We'll talk about that too. And it's really always a matter in the high school game of how you replace them.
Exactly.
So, I mean, they've got Pedro, Joe,
Yeah.
Tony. Tony's 6'5"
Yeah.
now. Nathaniel was out all year last year with an injury.
Yeah.
He's back and healthy. Tristan is Isaac Urias' brother. Very athletic kid, tough tackler.
Right.
The interesting thing will be how much Cyrus Briscoe and Noah step up on that O-line.
Right.
You know, they're 3-4 year starters.
I would definitely say Mojave going into this year probably has the best offensive line. Kingman High would be second, but even losing Pollock though is going to be big for them.
He's a good-looking kid.
Even though
handsome
Pollock missing most of last season was
Yeah.
big for them.
kid. Yeah.
But
So
it's like-
that is actually gonna. It killed him last year. You know, losing Ben, Paul. I mean, Blake missed some games.
You lose Blake, you lose Pollock, you lose Urias, who sort of became your emergency quarterback.
I know. So I actually feel bad for the kid because he had a great year at quarterback. I think he would have had a better year at running back or receiver.
Yes.
And so he stepped up, did everything he could, and you know,
And that's
led
one
him
of
to
my-
to a playoff game.
That's
you
one of
know?
my big questions is who replaces Urias as that number one playmaker?
Yeah.
Is it Anthony Moses? Is it Pedro? That's
So
gonna
I
be
think it's
key.
going to be by committee, in my personal opinion, and it's actually a little bit of a compliment to those guys. There's a kid who played a little running back last year at the end of the year, Jeremiah, and he's going to be a big feature back. He's going to be able to carry the rock in traffic, and they've got these speedy guys for these other things. Tony's 6'5" now. You got to respect him on the outside,
Yep.
and that gives Nathaniel, Pedro, Urias. I mean, even if
It
you have
opened
to
things up.
open things up.
Yeah.
And it's just a matter of if they can get it all to work together. Something's got to happen first. You got to pass a little to open up the run. You got to run a little to open up the game. Something's got to happen first. And finding that new identity where you can't lean on the guys you've had in the years past.
Right.
You know you could get Urias to run something off
Yeah.
Ben's side, and you were going to get what you needed out of
Exactly.
it. You're going to have to find out what that is this
You
year.
got to find the new Ben. You got to find the new Urias.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I
So-
have them going 7-3 this year. I think they're going to have a great year. I think they'll make the playoffs. I would argue this is technically they have the third toughest strength schedule. I would argue those first 6 games might be the toughest of anyone this year. Those first 6 games will make or break their season.
Yeah. So
And
this is actually really interesting. Jeff, you want to come back to us here because Paradise has become a little bit of a nasty rivalry.
Right.
We had a really tough game with them a couple years ago. Beat us last year twice.
Yep.
Knocked us out of the playoffs, and they're going to open with them this year. before going to River Valley Havasu, which are two nasty
Yes,
rivalry games.
exactly. Yeah.
So you're going to have 3 really heated games
Yeah.
and then jump into
Yeah,
conference.
so there's your freedom schedule, and then your
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, and then your first 3 games of the Grand Canyon region are arguably the 3 toughest teams in the Grand Canyon region.
And you haven't seen them,
Exactly.
you know. So you have basically no familiarity with those guys. You will, and honestly, even like Lee Williams, who you have some familiarity with, is a completely different animal.
Lee Williams is the mystery. We don't know what they're.
And they're late in the year, so that team didn't have time to gel,
They're gonna
figure
have
it
time
out,
to grow, learn,
watch film.
Yes.
I mean, they're going to probably grow faster than the average team because of those things. So, you know, I know those kids are talented. They are finally going to be senior heavy.
Yes.
You know, for all these, it's always onesie twosie, and they're gonna have a new challenge. I think a lot of that is going to lean on. I had already mentioned Jeremiah, but you're going to have some of those younger guys step up and be a factor.
Kind of thing that affected them last year was health, and that's going to be a big thing this year. Is staying healthy.
Yeah. Last year they had 4 broken collarbones.
4 broken.
You ever heard of 4 broken collarbones on a football team?
It's just insanity.
It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. And every one of them was different. Joe broke his collarbone against Lee Williams.
Right.
Joe's a very physical runner.
Right.
Been telling him since he was 10 years old, get out of bounds,
Slide,
go downs,
slide.
avoid contact. And he just runs a very run-of-the-mill hit.
Yep.
Gone. Benjamin fell, had a kid pull him down, collarbone gone.
Yep.
Nathaniel dove for a ball, collarbone gone. It was such a head scratch every year last year. And these kids should be hungry. They should be ready to go out and prove themselves. I know that, I don't know what you hear, but I've heard all the 4A naysayers, and should fire them up to get them go out and improve themselves.
I think the teams in the Grand Canyon are excited that Mojave's back for the first time since 2020 was the last season.
Yeah.
Mojave's in the Grand Canyon. That was the year you famously only scored 1 touchdown. The COVID year, rough year.
John scored it.
John scored it.
We did nothing. It was just John being John. Poor kid was a freshman. We're like, run inside.
It's like when parents around here complain about teams getting moved up and down. Like, I agree with the relegation promotion formula, especially in Mojave situations. That was a rough year.
Yeah. Well, and I guess it's not really much of a secret, but this wave of kids was special. Mm-hmm. They probably would have had a great time in 4A competing at that level.
Yeah.
After this group of kids, it's a very different class after that.
I definitely would argue that the last 2 years, you guys might have been the favorites in 4A.
Yeah, well, and what's wild is I believe the last 3 years, Lee Williams and Havasu, they've won every game. So,
Yep.
I mean, those are competitive 4A teams. That team that they beat in Lee Williams was a playoff team.
Yeah, Lee Williams only lost a couple years ago back in 23. They went 9-1 the regular season. Their only loss was to Mojave.
Right, and so that Mojave team was tough, and it's a really exciting opportunity to watch these guys go out and have a chance to prove it on a bigger stage.
Yep.
So, and then that leads us to that Week 2 game that we just talked about.
Last but not least,
River Valley, whose big loss is Plotkin, in my eyes.
River Valley, who historically in this county has been running back you.
Yes.
They always have a running back.
They always have since.
And they got another one that's coming into his senior year this year. Aiden Montgomery rushed for 700 yards last year, was Plotkin's sidekick. It's going to be exciting to see him be the lead back this year. Also, the Hammett twins.
So, yes. So there's Coach King. Coach King. Sorry about that. I said Coach Kling. That sounded a little derogatory there. So, I actually had reached out because I was curious what the football world was thinking.
Right.
And you had mentioned the 2 twins coming up.
Yep.
Very talented, and they're gonna have to step up and be ready to help the Montgomery kid because being a feature back is tough. I mean, Plotkin was he was a strong, physical powerhouse kid, and he really endured that rough inside run better than most.
Yeah.
And you're gonna have to share that workload somewhere.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's where you need to rely on these 2 sophomore twins, the Hammets, the younger brothers of Zach Hammett, probably River Valley's greatest running backs, Probably between him and Brandon Long.
Oh yeah, well, sadly, there's a lot of them.
There's a lot of them. There's
so
a lot to pick.
back in my day, the Montgomery boys were tough runners, and then before that, it was I mean, they've just had a plethora of good running. They really are.
River
They pump out
Valley
running backs like no one else.
has been a consistent, successful school since it opened in the early 90s.
Yep, absolutely. So Matt from the paper reached out, and he says the Abel brothers. So I don't know. I don't want to get into last name things. I don't know the story there. But so they're both studs last year. Them moving up, they're going to have to play a factor. Montgomery, former player of the week, 700 yards, 8 touchdowns. And that's sharing the workload with Plotkin. And I have a little bit of insight on this River Valley team. They've got some other key guys. They got a very talented O-lineman, Talon Alexis, coming up. Started last year as a freshman. He will, it'll be a matter of how much he grows because he's going to have to be the guy. Yeah. Quarterback Mickey Smith back for another year.
For third year as a starter.
Third year as a starter. Really nice to know you have that kind of command of your offense.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Yeah. Deacon Maish was recognized in the conference last year as a D-end. Really a lot of talented kids. I like some of the baseball guys that got out there, Mikey, and I just drew a blank. He was an athlete of the week a bunch of times. Playing safety, very athletic kid. So they have a lot of talent out there.
There is talent, but I have them going 7-3 this year.
Because they have the nastiest 3A schedule I've ever seen.
By the numbers, the toughest schedule of the 8 schools in this county. And their freedom schedule is insane. I believe they will win the 3A West, but Dysart is no joke. Wickenburg's still good. But then it's like you got Mojave, Ben Franklin, who's one of the favorites, and then Seton Catholic, who made the playoffs in 4A last year and got moved down to 3A.
Right. So one of the knocks on River Valley the last couple of years, through no fault of theirs, is that they had such a soft schedule.
Yes.
And they gave them the complete opposite this year.
No soft this year.
No. That Benjamin Franklin game is going to be an absolute brawl. Very talented group. I mean, they were expected to win last year, and they ended up losing. I think Push Ridge ended up winning the whole thing.
Yeah, that's right.
And then that Seton Catholic game, like you said, they were a winning playoff 4A team, and they go.
Good news, they're coming up here. They're not driving to Tucson.
Yeah, well, that helps a little bit, I guess.
That being said, they are at Payson, which is a drive, and Payson, all the schools in that White Mountain area are just tough.
Yeah, they are very tough. You never know who's going to come out of that for the playoff region. I would tell you that I think the X factor for this thing is that, King's going to be in there and really have everything installed the way he wants now. I don't want to say he had a short initial stint, but this is officially like you're at full cruising speed.
This is year 3 now. This is where your stuff is developed.
You're developed. You're locked in. You have your guys. You have a bunch of returning key guys, senior guys out there. And I did not count. I think I actually may have texted Coach King and asked him how many seniors he had returning. But he's got a good batch of seniors, and at that level of football, that's huge. So I think River Valley is going to be an absolute brawl this year in terms of how they play everybody.
It's gonna be a dogfight almost every week.
Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely. And I have to concede that I know a lot of these kids on this team, and I'm really pulling for them. So
no, I'm pulling for her too. I like Coach King a lot. He's always been one of my favorites. I still remember when he was the OC at Mojave. When me and Coach Stryker first got to Kingman back in 2019.
Yep, absolutely. Before he left. So he was the offensive coordinator. We came in, him and a bunch of other coaches had left, I don't think related to us coming in. But we came in to start right after, so we all plugged right in, start a whole new thing. And after about a year, I was like, this King guy is pretty good. Why don't we try to get him back in? And, he had some young kids. He was doing his own thing. He kind of already had decided he was done in that path.
Right.
And but I really wish they could have retained him when we were there, and didn't work out. So I'm happy to see that he's having a lot of success over there.
It was great that he got the River Valley job, and it opened thanks to Kingman High. You're welcome, by the way.
Yeah, so that's funny you say that because we talked about that. That was a shocker. You guys shocked the football world that year.
It, to this day, it is still one of the most surprising games I've been a part of. Not that we won it. Well, A, that we won it. B, by how much?
Yeah. So I remember seeing the scores and thinking, oh, somebody's putting
Somebody
scores
put it in wrong.
Yeah, I don't know if you've ever seen that on
That's
like
like-
Max
that's
Prep.
what people
You're
were
like,
thinking at first.
dude, they got the scores backwards. Like,
Yeah.
what the hell's going on here?
No, I
and
remember.
it really shook I can tell you, the River Valley locals were not happy after that.
No, they were not, and that kind of made the push to a change. Yeah,
Yeah,
which
absolutely.
opened the door for Coach King.
And honestly, we'll get into some local football lore here, but Coach Clark leaves.
Yep,
Didn't necessarily want to leave.
yep.
They brought in that fella.
Coach
Did
Clark,
not go well.
Coach Clark had a picked successor that they did not want.
That they did not want, who
Yes.
is experiencing success now.
Yes.
And through all that, you guys put the exclamation point on it
Yes.
and brought it all back to where it's at now.
Yep. Yep.
I love football,
it's
man.
great. No,
I don't
it's
know.
great.
I
I love
love
it.
football. I love all this stuff, man.
That's probably one of the greatest nights of my life. I ended up staying another hour and a half in Bullhead, just like at the Sonic,
just
like
hanging out the window.
just like in shock. Like, did that
Yeah.
really happen?
Yep. No, it's a lot of fun, man. We had talked little bit about the realignment and things like that. I think that the way things are right now is still very exciting. A lot of local
Yes.
teams playing each other.
Yeah.
Do you have like this is the game to watch this year for the local matchups?
I'd say it's the Golden Shovel game still. I think those are the two most talented teams in the county right now, and I think that's going to be a great game. I think the River Bowl, close second. I am really excited, though, for August 21st, Kingman Academy at Desert Star.
Yeah, me
The two
too.
charter schools going at it.
Yeah, I feel like I'm looking at like an NFL schedule. Where I'm like, oh, that's a good game.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good game
game,
too.
yeah.
That's a good game too.
Yep.
I'm really excited to see. I guess I look at it like this. I'm watching the ground floor of some new things being started. Lee Williams
Yeah.
and Desert Star.
Desert Star,
And to watch where they are at this year, the next year, and where they end up is. Oh, did we lose something, Arganda?
We're good.
Okay. To see where those end up and how that progresses over the years is going to be very exciting. I don't know. I haven't been around Mojave since the middle of last year. I don't know what's going on there, but to me, they're looking at the end of an era that started 5 years ago when John Williams came up as a freshman,
Yep.
changed that culture around, and then it is an unknown.
Yep.
You know?
I'm excited because we have a nice mesh between the 8 high schools of guys that have been here for a while that have their programs and new guys starting up, young guys.
Yep.
A nice mesh of old and new coaches.
Yeah, absolutely. I wanted to ask you what compelled you to start this Twitter account and dive into some of the history of Mojave County football.
Honestly, just the amount of free time I've had since I stepped down from Kingman High and I started doing the middle school thing. Because middle school, not a ton you really do in the off season. Like we had
Right.
like a couple week summer camp, but
It's
like,
not the
there's
same.
no
It's
7
not
on
the
7s,
same.
There's no camp going to Sholo for football camp. Just so much free time in the off season. I'm just like, you know what? I want to read more about these schools and put some lists together. And
Yeah.
it's been the responses have been great.
Yeah, it's been an absolute. It's been a lot of fun. I experienced the same thing, going from, basically 3 hours a day, 5 days a week,
Right.
freed up in your life,
Yeah.
and you don't know what the hell to do with yourself sometimes. I did ask some questions on here, and I figured I'd get your input also. One asked, where do you coach? Did you go when Stryker left? We already talked about that,
Yeah.
but Coach Stryker coached that Kingman team for a long time. And like a lot of things, it's funny. I met Stryker in a football setting,
Yeah.
and if you know me and probably Coach Stryker, we're both pretty gung-ho.
Yeah, I definitely remember the first time I met you. It was the first time we played Mojave, and pretty sure you were wearing a tank top. And I'm like,
Oh, I probably was. Sleeves are not my
this
favorite
guy
thing.
might be a tad bit crazy.
Oh, yeah, no. Depending on what year it was, I think half of us were wearing tank
Yeah.
tops. And someone
Yeah.
someone commented about our wild coaching staff, and I'm sure that went over well with the school, But
Yeah.
we put on shirts when the game started, But I ended up running into Stryker, and turns out he's a Steeler fan.
Yep.
And so me and him had a long talk about football and Steelers a couple years ago, and it was a lot of fun. And I hate to see him go. You know, it's tough when you're, I don't want to say a victim, but you're in your situation,
Right.
and you have to deal with.
Right. That's the thing. All 8 of these jobs, there are pros and cons to all of them, and just the cons just don't go away year after year and year, and it's near impossible to fix them.
It's tough. You know, I was talking about the safety. I couldn't think of his name. Ironically, his name's on this helmet right in front of me. Hunter Kohler. Sorry, Hunter. My bad, dude. HK. That's why I can't remember his name, because these kids have cooler names than me. So 3A West, new teams. Kingman or River Valley prevail as champions.
I say River Valley is going to win the 3A West. I think River's they have the experience coming back with Coach King. They got a lot of seniors this year. I think they're going to have a tough out-of-conference schedule, but I think they still win the 3A West.
Yeah.
I think Dysart will be
Dysart was tough last. Big
Dysart will be the
athletic
toughest
quarterback
team.
last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dysart will be the toughest team in the region next year, but
Yeah.
after River.
Well, I think River Valley's in the driver's seat for sure. It's theirs. It's theirs to lose. And honestly, it's pretty interesting because I think that they've improved in a lot of spots. It's just a matter of running back, and no disputing the talent of the running backs.
Right.
But Plotkin was a very physical
Yes.
running back. It's a different. You know, those other kids are a little quicker, shiftier.
Yeah.
It's going to be a different, not bad, different running back situation.
Different
So,
style.
yeah, absolutely. So, general question: what do you think Havasu's got this year?
I think Havasu has a chance to potentially get to the semifinals this year. I really like. We talked earlier about Tyler Thompson, Coach Thompson's youngest son, who's been a 3-year star for them, captain of the defense. He's going to lead their defense is going to be great this year, and I think they got a shot against Mojave.
Yeah. Well, we took that poll, and I'm sure there's a lot of bias voting in there, but it's about 50-50.
Yeah, which is.
You know, and I go through that poll and I look. There's a lot of coaches and non-affiliated people that picked Havasu in that. So
I mean,
should
Havasu-
be a good game.
Yeah, it will be interesting with Havasu. They do new starting quarterback, new running back, Briggs graduating. It's gonna hurt for them. But I believe Coach Thompson, he's been in the county the longest. He's gonna have them ready come week 1.
Yeah. It's going to be really exciting to see. High school team, let's see, looks best currently preseason schedule. I think that's a little bit of a vague ask, but I think that there's no denying in terms of like per scale, River Valley's got the nastiest schedule.
River has the nastiest. The academy has, I don't want to say the weakest, the least strongest.
Right. That's a good way to say that.
Yeah.
And again, I know everybody's got strong opinions, especially on Twitter. You know, you get
Yeah.
on Twitter and you listen to crazy stuff people say.
Yeah,
You're
right.
like, you guys know the kids are just kids, right?
Yeah.
You know, so. But yeah, I think River Valley's got a nasty schedule, especially when you scale it to a 3A schedule. Somehow you drew one of the best 3As.
Yeah.
You have a Mojave team that's been very tough.
You have a team that made the 4A playoffs that got moved
Moved
down
down.
to 3A.
And that's your.
Yeah, that's your freedom game. Yeah. And then Crimson's at Crimson. Crimson's
Oh, that's
not
right.
bad either.
Yeah, no,
They'll
they're
start
tough
the
too.
season. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think they got the nastiest schedule. I honestly think Mojave's got a nasty schedule too.
Those
You know,
first
that-
6 games is
That first 6 games is it's going to
gauntlets.
be a rough one.
Yeah.
And you always see Paradise has a new coach too. You don't
Yeah,
know what they're going
you
to
don't know.
have.
Right.
But you know all 3 of those games are going to be intense.
Yep.
They're going to be physical. There's no layup in there. Like I think everybody
Yeah.
knows you start a season, you kind of want to have a
Right.
semi-safe
You guys
game in
had,
there.
What, Slam Academy last year.
Oh God,
And
Slam
you
ended up
thought-
being.
You thought that was going to be.
Oh man, hold on. I didn't think that. I was furious when that game was on the schedule. They ended up
Okay.
being a Nevada 3A semifinalist.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Because
So-
other people I talked to down here thought that like, ooh,
Oh
Slam.
yeah, they were a playoff team last year. They played a bunch of the name schools in Vegas and played them to a draw. Ended up
Right.
losing close games, and so I looked at that on the schedule, and we played Vegas. So when we played youth ball, we played Vegas football teams, and I was like, oh, this is not a gimme game.
Yeah.
And we gave up. The team we had played the previous year beat them. We put up 70 in the first half and stopped playing. So that wasn't a great game for
Right.
us. It was one of the drawing a blank. Someone remind me. And they put Slam on there, and I was like, all right, well, let's check Slam out. And I don't know if what you do, but I immediately go to Max
Go
Preps.
to Max Preps, yep.
Go look. Oh, they're returning a bunch of. Oh my God. Oh, what?
They did this
What
last
are we
year?
doing? What are we doing? You
Right.
know? And we won the game. I of course was super. I took it personally because my son broke his collarbone. Not that the kid did anything wrong. He got blocked, pulled him down,
Yeah.
broke his collarbone, freak thing, and so of course my thought was like, why the hell are we even playing this game? Like,
Yeah.
you bring down a really tough Vegas team, so you get none of the Arizona rub.
Right.
You don't play a game that's meaningful in your state. You play a really nasty physical team. Banged up a bunch of guys. We lost, I think, 3-4 guys in that game.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we go down to Paradise week 2 without 3 or 4 starters. It was rough.
Yeah.
Rough start.
My experience in my 12 years coaching, like, we didn't really play a ton of teams from the Vegas area. Like, between my time at Kingman High, Lee Williams, and Kingman Academy, it was Needles or Laughlin
Yeah.
would be the only out-of-state teams we would play.
Well, and they're out-of-state local, so it
Right.
makes sense travel-wise.
Yeah.
It's, it makes a little sense. They do a lot of things that don't make a ton of sense to me, but I'm sure there's reasons behind it that I don't understand. I did not understand that one. I was not pumped
Yeah,
on that.
that's an odd one. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you follow. So they ended up, they lost to us. They lost to like Desert Foothills, which is a big school. They went and played some Southern California team and lost, and then won like their next 7 games.
Oh.
Just ran the gauntlet and beat the brakes off of some good teams up there. And I just remember sitting there going, why the hell is this our week 1 game? And, as I'm whining, it was a double book game. So we shared the field house that day.
That's right.
We got into our locker room like 30 minutes before the start. We had guys getting dressed in the bleachers on the side. Like me and my son, we have like a pretty consistent preparation schedule and did none of it. And obviously didn't contribute to an injury, but it just, the whole thing was wonky.
Just like you're used to a stricture, and like when
Right.
it goes off kilter, like,
Yes.
yeah,
We were furious.
it's a mental state. Yeah.
Mental state, like it was, you didn't get into your rhythm or your groove or whatever you call it. And so yeah, no, I'm not mad about it.
Yeah, I'm definitely surprised that like you guys constantly like will stack games. River Valley and Mojave will stack games the same day because like
Yeah.
we share. Well, when I was at Kingman High, we shared the field with the academy, and I always made sure the schedule was put that when we were out of town, the academy was there. When the
Right.
academy was out of town, we were there.
And I look at it from I think it's best for the town when there's, a game every week. You
Right.
got 10 weeks of local football. One of the
Exactly.
teams is there, and for whatever reason, the scheduling doesn't work out, whatever the situation is, and it just makes it hectic. And then you have to run everybody out of the field house,
Yep.
get them out, redo the thing again.
Yep.
It's just very
Yeah,
chaotic. I'm
it's
sure it's
very-
tough from a personnel standpoint or whatever the other reasons are, but it's also tough on the kids and the teams. Like, I don't think people realize all the time and preparation that goes into a pregame. I mean, from you're going out running your general stretching,
Yeah.
taping, you're going over all your final stuff. You go into your group work. You go over
Yeah.
some special teams.
Run
You go
your-
over some
run your
plays,
team, yeah.
and then you run out and you see the little finishing part that everybody sees.
Yeah, no, you see them run out of the tunnel with the lights going on and on.
Right.
But, yeah.
So like there's so much that goes into it. Not that there's not in other sports, but football there's a lot going on
It's
there.
a lot. It is like 98% preparation and practice for 2% of actual game.
So I'll do this rant. I may have done this on a show before, but football is the best in terms of what you're really going to experience in the real world is how hard you have to work to get what you actually get.
Exactly.
You will run a play 10 times in practice till you get it right, and then you run it again and nail it. And you may not even run that play.
Yep.
You may work an entire off season, have a great off season, do all these things, and break your collarbone in the first week of your season.
Yep.
Like, that's the real reality of
Yeah.
things. It's not the way you ever plan it. You have to adapt. You have to be mentally tough. You have to be able to work really hard and then still have to go out and make it happen over that 10
And
weeks.
sometimes it doesn't happen.
And
Not
sometimes it
everyone
doesn't
gets
happen.
a trophy. That's the reality
Right.
of life. There are winners and losers.
Right. And sometimes you don't get a trophy, you get your ass knocked down in the dirt.
Yeah.
And you have to lose in front of your friends and family.
Yeah.
And you have to face it and decide what you do from there.
Yep. Some days you're winning 44-0. The next day you're playing Mojave and you're losing 44-0.
Yeah. Yep. It is the ups and downs of high school football.
Yeah.
High school football is, it's getting to where it's almost a business.
Yes.
College is very clearly a business
Right.
now. High school is getting there, but right now, high school football is still one of the most beautiful things that happens in all of America. You have local teams, local schools playing the other teams, the other towns, and you go out on Friday night and bring it all together.
And things have changed recent years, like a lot more private schools than it used to be. And the private schools, as much as I hate to say it, they play by a different set of rules.
Don't get me started.
Which is kind of why I prefer playing teams outside of Phoenix or
Yeah.
Tucson, because they have the same thing. Even like people complain about charters too, but like Academy, Desert Star, Malk, they're not like the American leaderships.
No. So I was going to say, the ALAs are popping up like candy. They
Yeah.
all magically have...
Everybody chumps the charter schools together. The ALAs are a whole different thing.
Yeah, charters are very... Well, even charters, they have different... Some of them are just charter schools that play
Yeah.
sports. Some of them are charter schools that are for sports.
Are for sports, yes.
Look at the typical finalists in most of the high school sports. It's a...
Private,
Right.
charter, or like a white mountain school.
Right. Yeah. It's not the same, and I say this with affection. Is a straight up public school. Kingman.
Yeah.
I mean, Lee Will's public school. Mojave, River Valley. They have typically the least amount of resources, flexibility, things like that, and they have to accommodate the most kids, and it's tough.
It's kind of like the gap between like when these Power 5 college programs will play these FCS
It's a
schools.
good comparison.
And that's just what you see every week. Like sometimes you're the FBS school, sometimes you're Northern Arizona playing U of A.
Yes. I think they beat them a couple
They
years ago.
did beat them a couple years ago. It
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah.
It happens.
So let me ask you this: when you were at Kingman, what was recruiting like for your guys? Did you guys work hard to get guys recruited? Did you have a lot of interest?
We pushed hard. I mean, the other thing is like, we want to have good relationships with college coaches. We want to push the kids that we believe in. And
Right.
we believed in, there's a lot of them that we believed in, but it's also hard just getting people to come to Kingman. We're just on the way to Las Vegas.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. So I have actually heard rumors. I have pitched this for years and years and years to have a Mojave County Combine.
Yes.
I don't know if you saw my...
I remember that, yes.
Yes, I've been pitching it for years. It's even harder now that I'm not involved in the schools anymore, and I've heard rumors that it may actually happen.
I think
It'll be way too late for my group of kids
Right.
to benefit from,
I
but
think
in the future...
For the future, though, especially like it's an easy drive, because Bullhead's kind of like the middle point. It's an easy drive for Kingman.
Mm-hmm.
It's not too far for Lake Havasu.
And you may not get a college that's going to come down
Right.
by Kingman, stop by Mojave,
Right.
stop by River Valley, stop by Needles. But if you get all those kids in one place, you might
Yep.
get some colleges to come down.
Exactly.
And if you can get kids, which I can't understand, like if you can get a kid an education,
Exactly.
I mean,
Get
you're
to
saving
it.
that kid a couple $100,000. You're changing his life.
Exactly.
I don't know why there's not more emphasis or interest in it. But I'm telling you right now, I know probably 4 or 5 kids who could play college football, weren't recruited, didn't get visibility.
Right.
And then I see kids that, they beat the brakes off of in games getting
Right.
offers.
Yeah.
And I have to think it's a lot to do with.
Luck is a giant factor. I went to school with, and I'm friends with Tarek Skubal.
Oh,
And
yeah.
So Tarek was a year behind me, and
He managed to figure it out.
his senior year, the Academy's first ever year when they went up to the AIA from the CAA, first round of the playoffs, he throws a no-hitter against Page High School in the first round of the playoffs. There was one scout in the stands from Seattle University. He got an offer like a month later from Seattle. That was his only offer.
Wow.
Yeah, and now here
Now
he
he's a
is
Cy Young winner.
today. Now he's a Cy Young winner and
About to
in
break the
conversation
bank.
for the MVP. Yeah.
Yeah. Skeens is going to get him. I'll just say.
So it is
pitches in
luck is a
Detroit?
factor. Yeah,
Yeah,
Detroit.
it's AL. It's fine. He can do whatever he wants. So, I'm a Pirates fan,
Ah, okay.
and so watching poor Skeens go out there and play like he does and lose every week is breaking my heart.
Yeah.
So.
No, I get that. Like Detroit's been kind of a rough couple weeks, but it's still just crazy to believe like this kid that I know that I played baseball with is one of the athletes in all of professional sports right now.
Professional
Which
sports.
is just that could happen to any of our kids.
Yeah.
Like it could be somebody at Malk, somebody at Desert Star, somebody at Kingman, Mojave.
Yeah.
It is an exposure thing. I think getting this college camp at the field house is the perfect way to do it.
It's the perfect way to do it.
Like,
you
I
have
know-
the facility, you bring in
Yeah.
people from all over the area. You have to do it in an inaugural effort, and it may not go great,
Yeah.
but you have to continue it,
every
build on
year,
it, keep
build on
inviting
it,
coaches.
keep calling, give Dan Mullen a call, give Kenny Dillingham a call. I do give Coach Dillingham props. He's much more local Arizona recruiting than the previous few coaches at
Yes.
ASU. NAU, I've noticed, has made more of a concerted effort.
Yeah.
They send their
They
defensive
recruited a lot of kids out of the
coordinator.
valley this year, I saw.
Yeah, but
You know?
NAU does make a concerted effort. They always send somebody every summer to
Yeah.
go check out the
We
Kingman
really
schools.
are geographically in the worst
It
place.
is. But
You know.
with the interstate going to be done in the next 3 years.
It makes it a little better.
Like, Bullhead's going to grow. Everything I'm hearing is that Kingman's going to like double in size once this
Yeah.
interstate's done. Because people are just now realizing that we're in the smack dab middle of Vegas and Phoenix.
Right. Well, and that's the weirdest thing is we're an hour and a half from Vegas,
Yep.
but because we're in a different state, it's like there's some weird invisible
Yeah.
barrier.
It's like a river or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Nevada just doesn't
Yeah.
want to recognize that
Right. That we're
it's
here, yeah.
we're really more of a suburb of them.
And then you got California where you have needles and then miles before you see any other
Right.
civilization.
So that's, I mean, we have a unique hub,
Yeah.
and especially the football world is very small, especially with, it probably just got a little smaller too with what I think Regan being at the, the big show in Kingman, having local roots here and understanding of the area a little bit differently than someone you bring in from out of town.
Right.
It just got a little smaller again. And so I think if someone can put that together and give these kids a chance, and go play some college ball, it'd be pretty cool.
I definitely agree. I definitely think. I'm excited to see him this year. I'm really rooting for him. Like, had he called me like a week earlier, I might have been on that staff.
Yeah. Yeah, I went up to their 7-on-7 they hosted, and it was run very well. Their kids looked good. It was a lot of fun to watch. I got to see my Mojave guys play, and then Coach Clark was up there too. So I got to see his young group, and they competed with a bunch of older, bigger kids, and
Yeah.
so a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So you talked about everybody else. Tell me about your program.
Kingman Middle School has, sort of like Kingman High, been the runt of the litter in the Kingman Middle School area for some time. That being said, we are the largest middle school with almost 600 kids.
Yeah.
And it's been a losing culture. Like, the biggest thing is like kids keeping eligible, behavioral issues,
Yeah.
stuff that you and I are familiar with our former high school jobs
Yeah, very
Yeah.
much so.
at just a larger scale.
Yeah.
But it's exciting. I'm really looking forward to it. I think we have the chance to really turn things around there. And turn things around there, it'll go into Kingman High, turn things around there.
Yeah. Well, I'm really glad that you guys took that leap, and I'm sure that you would like to get back to high school football at some point.
At some point,
These high schools need the middle schools
Definitely.
to support them.
and this is something that I've always thought about is like how many good coaches there are. Like the pool, the need is greater than the supply.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Supply and demand here and Kingman, it's
I have
Jonathan Clark is watching.
Coach Jonathan Clark,
Hey.
Desert Star season opener Thursday night. Let's go.
we'll be there.
Better have a snack bar. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So, I have speculated, and I'm actually. It's funny. Coach Clark's watching now. It's a good job, Coach Clark. And even Malk, like Malk has it where everyone's on one campus,
Yep.
right? Having those kids, because I don't know what happens from 6th grade to freshman year. It's a black hole for young men.
Yep.
They go in there little like sweet kids. They come out little heathens, and it's like nobody
Middle
wants
school
to.
is unique.
Yeah, no one wants to.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't have them long enough to get the impact you want, or it's just a transitional phase. It's tough. But when you're a youth kid You get all the support, the little league,
Yep.
the whatever, the this. You go to high school, you've got a big structure, a big
Yep.
whatever, and then that little black hole of life in middle school is the
Yeah.
weirdest thing in the world.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah. So good job, Desert Star, getting that.
Yeah.
What is it? 6 to 12 alignment,
Yeah.
Coach Clark.
Desert Star, that's exciting. It's the kind of thing I like about the academy is all 4 of their schools are surrounding Centennial
Yeah.
Park right next to the interstate there. So they're all close to each other.
So my son went to Mount for elementary school,
Okay.
and long story, but I wanted him to play football at Mojave with the intent that that was going to be 4A, the biggest level he could play at.
Get looks. Yeah.
You know, no disrespect to Malk, but I didn't want him to be the biggest fish in that pond. I wanted him to go out and play, and it was a rough shock for him to go from Malk to Mojave.
Yeah, it's a new ball game.
Yeah, a new ball game.
Like I still remember like my first few years coaching, I was at the academy, and then Lee Williams back when it was like their 3rd year of existence. They didn't have seniors yet. The 1 year I was at Lee Williams, and then I go to Kingman High, and it's like they have a locker room, they have their own football field, and
Yeah.
I'm sitting there thinking like this is the greatest thing ever.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I don't even know how long. I'm sure Jeff could tell us. We've probably been talking forever. Yeah.
Yeah, I bet.
I really appreciate you making a drive down. I would love to do a recap or follow up at some point, whenever that shakes out. I know once your football season starts, you're going to be buried in it. And to be honest, my son is heading out in a couple days, and I'm going to be trying to watch him play some college
Right.
football
That's
here
the
real
exciting
soon.
thing.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exciting to see kids like Ben get the chance to go up to the next level.
Yeah, I'm very appreciative. I really would love to see. I mean, we mentioned some really great kids. You know, that Shea Miranda kid can play at the next level.
Miranda's a good one.
I have not seen the quarterback. I know Cooper Cronk is getting recruited and hustling out there. Get on Twitter, guys.
Yeah.
Post your highlights. My son must have emailed 300 coaches.
Yeah.
You know, to get 30 offers or whatever he got.
Yeah, no, you gotta retweet everything.
Retweet
send
everything, yep.
Even the D3s, the JUCOs. JUCO, which lately has turned more into a failed D1
Yeah,
athlete.
it really is. Yeah, I mean, I think Mickey's gonna play baseball. Deacon can play football.
Yeah.
Town will play football at the next level. I mean, I'm very biased. You know, I think all these guys that I coached at Mojave can play at the next level. They're very, very talented group.
Definitely.
So get out there, guys. Promote yourselves. Put up the number one thing. This drives me crazy is you make a really cool highlight, but if there's no highlights on that highlight, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to put up
Yeah.
good film.
Show pictures of you blocking.
Yeah. You have to have good film, guys. So I appreciate it, man. Thank you so
Definitely.
much.
Thank you for
This
having
was
me so
awesome.
much.
This was
This
a lot
was
of fun. Keep doing what you're doing on Twitter. What is your Twitter follow?
It is
Mojave
County
County
Football Talk.
Football Talk.
Yep.
Yeah. So check it out. It's a lot of fun, especially if you're following along. I don't know what you're going to do during the season, but the historical off-season stuff's been a lot of fun.
It's been fun. We're gonna be wrapping up the weekly rankings here in a couple weeks, because with the start of the season. But possibly might be doing a preseason first and second team here in a couple weeks. Really excited though.
Very cool, man.
Yeah.
Cool stuff. A lot of fun. Thank you guys so much. See you soon.
See you soon.
Right on, man.